Hey there, lovies. I want to apologize. The sound on this isn't that great because I am blaring the AC and fans right now. It is summertime now. We've reached summertime in Germany, and while the temperature is not that high, the humidity always here is off the charts, and I'm just sweating my balls off, and it's just going nuts. So anyway, it's hot, it's humid, and so I apologize for this one and also the episode right before me. Or after mine, the ones for June basically, and possibly July and August. The sound quality is not going to be the best because I'm blaring this stuff. Anyway, I do apologize. Let's get into it. I want to talk about maybe reframing our perception of death and the character I have kind of drummed up in my little creative head here, and want to share that with you today and see what you think. All right, so my name is Abigail, here to normalize these conversations and education about death and dying so we die better at the end of life. Let's get into it today. So when you think of death and kind of like the actual visual part of death, when you have seen it portrayed in, outside, whether it was like in a cartoon or a movie or skit, whatever it is, what do you usually see it as? Usually, at least from my experience, I've usually seen death portrayed as this form that doesn't really have a face, that is always wearing this black long cloak and usually has like a staff with it. And yeah, that's usually it. And, I kind of got tired. Frankly, I just got really tired of that portrayal of death. In my book, that's going to be coming out this year, I decided to kind of portray death a little differently. If you've seen any of my little comedic attempts at comedic sketches about death, for me, I find them hilarious, and that's because why I do them. There's just these little things that pop into my head, or I try to write something out, and then sometimes I'll ask ChatGPT like what they think about it, and they may shoot back some other, criticisms or whatever, and then I kind of mold it from there, because my sense of humor is a little bit more weird, I think. So these things pop into my head, and I just sometimes go with them, and I personally enjoy it, but I don't know if people always get my humor. But anyway, so you have seen me portray this character of death, and what has come to my mind the first time I started kind of doing this silly little character of death, the first thing that popped in my mind was put on this hat backwards. So I'm wearing like a backwards cap. I have no idea why I chose to do it, but for me, it kind of brings a little more, like lightness to it, and just like don't take it so seriously. Also a little bit of sassy kind of attitude and whatever it is. Anyway, and then you see that my character of death also has a spirit animal, which is my cat, my little kitty, who I think is the cutest little thing. And so that's the spirit animal that death has. But in my book, I don't want to give it all away. I kind of like to think about death as a really cool auntie. I personally don't have children of my own. I can't anymore because I went into menopause early. So, and I also decided I never wanted children. That was a very clear decision from the start for me, and there are several reasons why. So if you want me to go on about that, I can share with you if you'd like, but I have always known I never wanted children. But I love being an auntie. I love it. It's my favorite role in the world. And I'm auntie to my, blood relatives as well as my, non-blood family that I've made. And I love being an auntie. I take that role seriously. If I have my one of nieces or nephews around, I love to spoil them. I want them to feel like they're just the world. And I want them to, I welcome them to talk to me about anything and make them feel safe, make them feel heard and validated, and really help them hear themselves, their own hearts, and what's true to them. And then I love to spoil them. I love to go and get them good food, and especially if they come to Germany, I just love to show them. And anyway, it is one of my most favorite roles in this life, is to being the auntie, and the cool auntie is what I like to think of it as. So, and my initials are AD. And then one day I just woke up, I'm like, I want death to be Auntie Death. I want death to be this cool auntie that is just misunderstood, She's, she's like that auntie, which like me, lives abroad, which right now I'm living in Germany, kind of lives abroad you don't really understand, right? This figure of death kind of like lives abroad, quote unquote, abroad somewhere. And we don't really understand what she does with her life all the time, but she's got some power to her. She teaches us these lessons that maybe we didn't ask for, but she does. And then she's got this little pizzazz about her, and all these little quirks and characteristics that make her really cool, but also we're just not always sure what she's up to next. And so I like to think about death as Auntie Death. I think that is a cool way to think about death. So yes, I bring this up in my book, but that's coming out, but I've been wanting to just kind of like bring her to life. And in the portrayals of death that I do now, I really want us to think of her as like this cool auntie who's a little bit like sarcastic. Sometimes she's smoking, sometimes she's just chewing gum, and asking for time off, and or looking at people and judging them, how they live their lives, all that kind of stuff, and just being silly. So, and with her spirit animal, of course, Auntie's got to have a great cat. So anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have other things or just, other characteristics you want me to add to her, or any other punchlines or stories. I'll keep working on those and bringing those out to you, especially on social media. And then she's always in my shorts. So if you look at my shorts, that's my little death character kind of up to no good, doing stuff. Anyway, okay, let's continue to normalize these conversations and education about Auntie Death herself, right? So we make sure that we die better end of life before we go and hang out with her for a while. And hopefully live a good one until we get there. I love you. Thank you so much for any feedback always. And those people who I know right now, I don't have a lot of followers, and I know right now I don't have a lot of feedback, but I appreciate when you guys write to me. When you all write to me, I really appreciate it. And I mean it when I respond back to you and I say, if there's anything else you want me to cover, because this topic is so much, and I do go into the clinical aspects, the tangible aspects, and all those kinds of things, especially in my previous videos, and will continue to ongoing, because there's so many just logistics around death and dying to make it better for everybody. So really let me know. Always appreciate it. I really, really do. And whenever I see something pop up, I will respond, because I do like to interact with you all. And right now, especially, I don't have many people. I'd love to respond anytime I get something, and I really do appreciate your feedback. So anyway, blah, 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 blah. Anti-death, yay! Okay, I will talk to you soon. Hope you remember how darn special and iconic and all that you are. Even if you're not like feeling it today, because you're you, because you're your only combination of you. There's never been a you like this in the past, nor will there be in the future. So just remember that you're special, and remember that you're amazing, and I really believe that for you. So go live your day like that, okay? And if you're tired, you're tired. Maybe you hopefully get a little bit of rest today, and because I know sometimes it's impossible to do that, especially, with people with multiple responsibilities. So I want you to remember how special you are. All right, I love you. Let's cut it. Let's make sure we die better end of life and live a good one till we get there. I'm Abigail. I will talk to you soon. Bye.